So that brings us to our final session, our panel discussion. And today I'll be joined by some of our key partners and sponsors for our event, where we'll be discussing how no-code helps make complicated CRM easy. So I see my panel joining. So today I'm joined by Gabriela Gonzalez. Gabriela is joining us from Go Virtual. Hello, Gabriela.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for joining. We also have Julius Holmberg.
Hello.
How are you, Julius?
I'm great. Coming from Stockholm, Sweden here.
Awesome, awesome. Well, welcome. Yeah, so you're joining us from ChessIT, and we also have Gjergji Guri. Gjergji, how are you today? All right, yeah. Gjergji is the CEO of Facilization. Again, wonderful panel. I'm pleased to be joined by such an esteemed group of colleagues here. So I'm just going to stop sharing so we can all fit on the screen. There we go. Excellent. So today's discussion, guys, very interesting approach, and also very interesting to see how we're going to kind of work through those suggestions. So if we're looking at how we go about making CRM simple, I'm just going to throw out some questions, and we'll just have an open discussion. So
sure.
Maybe a good way to get started is, what challenges are you seeing? What are the biggest hurdles that are out there in terms of CRM today, and what values should we be focused on?
Yeah, I think it's a tough environment out there. There's a lot of competitors who are offering some great solutions, but I think with the package that we are selling with the Creatio package, I think we have some super strong points that are just knockout victories right now. We're selling hard here up in Scandinavia.
Excellent. We'd love to hear that.
I would complement that by saying customers and even the workforce really are asking for simple tools that allows them to focus on what matters in their day-to-day, right? Not transactional work or work that doesn't add any value. And CRM, I think it plays a huge role in this customer journey, but also the employee journey.
Absolutely. I think that's something that we forget about, right? We always look at CRM as being that customer facing, application, but I think a lot of times that gets overlooked, right? The employee experience, we're all in sales, right? We we know what it's like to have to input data into a CRM. Sometimes, in the past that has been considered just kind of a manual process, a necessary evil. But I think the way that we're able to design and configure CRM today is a lot different, right? We're inputting that data as a way to understand and work with our clients. And if we make that process, easy on the employee, so that way they're getting, something for every bit of information they're putting out, they're getting 3 bits of information out of it, really empowers employees to have a better experience.
Absolutely.
I agree. We still see like people using Excel sheets for keeping their information in Teams, and we still get those opportunities today, even though CRMs have been around for a long while, and even though there are CRMs that are for free. Still people are in those Excel sheets, and it's amazing, but there's an opportunity, and we're grabbing it very well.
That's also, if I may, that's also another area of kind of being able to offer to a salesperson, a sales rep, the kind of concept of citizen developer. So I'm jumping a little bit on low code here, but the whole idea is, if I'm accustomed to my notes and I trust the way I keep records, the data that I want to capture, I need to have some kind of flexibility. So one size fits all might be good for some people, but might not be as good for some others. So, I mean, a kind of level of adaptability, I think, helps a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree that we have to be able to adjust our sales, right? Like so when the winds of change come, we need to be able to adjust our sales with that. And that leads into another interesting question. When we look at CRM, we look at it as an investment that we've made. So whether that's a legacy system that we've had on within our organization for a number of years, or Julius, to your point, maybe we're leveraging a free a free system, but we're still living in Excel spreadsheets. What do you guys think are the major signs that a CRM might be too complicated for the users, or where we might see a CRM project fail? What do you think are those key signs that businesses can look for and maybe determine that it might be time for a new solution?
I think for me, I think it's seeing that the sales people are actually at some point, for example, just stop using it, or refrain from using it, and that's for me a clear sign that they have a difficulty using their CRM, or something is wrong in usability somewhere.
Yeah. Whenever you have like a plan to use several systems during for a salesperson, that's always a threat, because then the sales guy will be in another system that sort of conflicts with Creatio. If you succeed at like building an integration from Creatio side instead of using two systems, so you keep all that you need, everything that you need within Creatio. That's a super powerful recipe for locking them in, so to speak. So that it's super good for keeping customers, but it's super good to for user experience, of course. That's the most important part.
I totally agree. User experience is key. Even duplicating work, that is something that some of the tools produce, right? Or have as a result of a tricky implementation, or perhaps not having developed or designed their processes initially beforehand the implementation. I think this is a clear risk, but also I would focus on the usage of or how we leverage the data that is gathered from the system. If you're not using that data for any purposes, then your CRM or your system or whatever tool you're using, and not just specific to CRM, is not really getting you into the path of implementation, well, innovation, or leveraging from technology. We have some key players, Spotify, Netflix, and all the service or subscription business, that are using this information for making the next steps into their business, right? So this is the way we all should be thinking, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
And I might only add that at the very end, the capability to get the right data and metrics about how the sales are performing, and being able to drill down and being able to see a clear picture as to how the whole sales organization is performing, and being able to have some actual reports and data in a real time also comes with all the kind of necessary integrations that CRM should have. So if or any platform that exists is failing to provide sufficient insight to the customer, and what we see these days especially also give some value by recommending what you should do and what you should look into, then these are kind of some symptoms where some changes are needed, and there are also some pain points that can be rectified by utilizing a CRM, a more advanced modern one.
Yeah, I would agree. That is, that's key. Otherwise your CRM just becomes a repository, right? It's a way to store information. It's a way to report on information, but you could do that in any number of systems, right? You could have financial systems. You could have those records, but it's how do we leverage all of that data and come up with insights that will help us better engage with our customers? So I think that is absolutely key.
No, one, if I may add, so from because I typically deal with we typically work with financial service customers. So when we're talking about financial services CRM systems, I mean, what's necessary is to combine the digital, mobile, and social data alongside traditional touch points, really for rapidly outstriping those that who doesn't do. So if the CRM doesn't do it, okay, it's a bit awkward. So the priority, especially on the financial services organization, is for kind of having especially also all the key other marketing activities being integrated across all channels, so they can. This really creates a channel, I think, conflict sometimes when there are different systems, different applications. That this kind of channel conflicts really creates and hinders firms for really taking advantage of having a holistic view of customers and really making use of all the potential channels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great point, Gjergji. Let's take a poll of the audience, guys, shall we? Audience, within the chat section of the platform here, let's take a quick poll. So what features of your current CRM would you like to further simplify? We have lead management, case management, document management, pipeline management, or workflow automation. I think there should be an all of the above option there, guys, if it was me writing the poll. But go ahead and put your responses in the chat section, and we'll reveal the results very shortly. So, Gjergji, you went down this path a little bit, talking about no code and how to leverage that to simplify your CRM applications. How do we feel that no code can help remove barriers that traditional CRM users are experiencing today? Those users that may not have coding skills or development skills. How do we feel no code can help simplify that process for them?
Well, I think no code is important for the individual efficiency and also the team efficiency. So when you think of, especially of the dynamics we're having, and especially in the financial services industry, where there is a mixture of competition with fintechs, okay, which traditionally or naturally come with more skills and capabilities to navigate through data and to utilize data better, and kind of traditional banks that have a huge repository of data, but they are not built, they were not being set up as a data-driven organization, okay? In there, I think what we have seen without the need to adapt very frequently and to kind of be agile in the market offering, both from the marketing, but also trying to sell, cross-sell, upsell to existing customer, you need to adapt, you need to change. And the cycle time of this change has shrinked a lot recently. So in case I'm talking for a large organization, they have to procure for a process, they have to kind of write requirements, then they have a development cycles that takes many months and sometimes years, then your outputs are going to be already old and outdated when they're live. So the reduction of the cycle time and being able to engage more people in a more agile way, I think that's only achievable by a low code. So it's all about low code. So to be efficient, a person is like a citizen developer with no kind of programming skills. I mean, he needs to have a dashboard that really helps him see what he needs. Also, make decisions based on relevant information that might be of use, not only of his data, but data about customers, data about various communications, previous offers, and many other things. So the data needs to be relevant. So, I mean, that's about low code. The other aspect here, surely, it's more about CRM in general, also machine learning capabilities, because you need to get some intelligence out of the data and the systems. You cannot keep on browsing report. But for me, between the two surely are important. Low code is key, because otherwise the solution is going to be too monolithic.
Yeah. When we're talking barriers, I really think of different solutions that should be integrated. And with Creatio no code / low code solution, we can build those connectors to other systems so much faster. That totally removes barriers And that's usually the way I work as a developer, that we see a customer which has some sort of pain and they use several systems. They're interested in payment solutions, account enrichments, company lookups, and whatnot. So what we can offer with Creatio is, connectors built in days or weeks instead of those 100 plus hours sort of expensive solutions. So it's super powerful.
Yeah, I think, and this is an interesting question, because in the past, many employees everyone in the companies make or build tools, like even using Excel or macros for their own purposes, right? And they, with the time, these tools become important and relevant for their functions, right? So if you provide a tool that is not able to adapt to that environment, I think that employees and the people interacting with the system will very easily become frustrated, right, with whatever tool. So I think this is a relevant component and very important for change management and for the people to adapt a tool that really responds to their needs. Still, I think that this is a concept that needs to be covered, especially thinking of an enterprise-wide implementation. It needs to have some governance and some layers that allows you to make a standard tool across the enterprise with some some room for innovation or changes into their processes, but with a governance on top.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd like to respond to that from Gabriella when she said about responding to needs. I think there were Creatio with business process. We can pretty quickly respond to needs, and they're quite. I see with when we talk to people, they're quite surprised on what low code can offer them. Moving fields around, quickly creating new fields, making them interact with each other, interact within different departments also. I think that's a big thing, a big wow factor that people are looking for, and in a way that it actually can follow them through time and evolve with them, and as the company evolves.
Yeah, and thank you, Damien. And I just wanted to let everybody know Damien had joined the call. We had a little technical difficulty getting him in here. So Damien, thank you for joining us from
Hi, everyone.
CISEL. So thank you for jumping right in. But yeah, it's when I look at CRM strategy, you got to look at it from a couple of different perspectives, right? Like, one, you have your goals of CRM, but you also have to, focus your strategy on, two key areas: user adoption as well as change management, right? Because we know that what we put in place, today, may change in the next 6 months, 12 months, 14 months down the road. So this has to be a big consideration when you're putting together your CRM strategy. And I feel that, no code really, enables you to quickly pivot and adjust to those changes as they're coming within your CRM. And also, if user adoption is not where it needs to be, we can change, right? We can configure, and we can make that that process engaging, for the end user. We can bring them into the process and put the technology in their hand as well. So couldn't agree more with you guys. So we have the results of our first poll, and just to remind everybody, what the question was. What features of your current CRM system would you like to further simplify? So we came in with pipeline management at 50%. So 50% of the audience would like to simplify their pipeline management, followed evenly by lead management and case management at 25%. So very interesting statistics. So pipeline, as we know, guys, especially in sales, very important.
They're almost the same thing, all of them.
Yeah, exactly. Excellent. Perfect. So that leads us into our next question, guys. So we talk about no code in the and the ability to adapt quickly, to engage users into the process, and really be able to configure and modify, to meet specific business requirements. So, when we have all of that in place and it's all working well, how does that impact the company's bottom line and business outcomes? What are you seeing with your customers?
Yeah, I just see, I've seen examples where sales teams are like 10xing the amount of process that they can work at the same time, and they just become super efficient from the day that they enter the system, basically. And we have an example where we have a customer what's in the traveling industry, and we were sort of scared that they would have a hard time during the pandemic and whatnot, because they sell tourism and travel. But as far as we can tell, their statistics are looking super good, and their adaptation of starting using the Creatio CRM was just right on time for them. I think we can, it says a lot, basically. Mm-hmm. It's like you have in the same month you get a pandemic that's supposed to obliterate your total industry, but at the same month you were lucky enough to get Creatio CRM, so it all evens out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think, speaking widely, if we provide and we give a better service to our clients, a better response to our potential clients, right, and keep track of every single step or stage in their journey, right, this should definitely conduct into more sales, absolutely, with a better established process and a better visibility of what is going on at each step, and then upsell and cross-sell along the service live with our clients.
So I fully agree. Just to add, what I've seen also is the effectiveness at the team level. Mm-hmm. So, and being able to, the whole team is delivering really more because they're focusing the energy on the right step, or they're optimizing the right aspect that's not working or at their best, whether this might be lead management, nurturing the leads, or whether it's about sort of focusing on the pipeline and opportunities, but it's the whole effectiveness of the team that gets translated in business results.
Yeah, I would say it even helps, standardize how they talk with each other, because we're all different. Mm-hmm. And it can happen in the same team, let's say in the same office, but even also internationally. Suddenly you have kind of a same language to be able to compare what you're doing with each other, rather than each having his own Excel and his own language, own way of working. And that also accelerates sales because management or teams are able to react much faster to what works, what doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree, and I think that's key to it, right? It's speed and agility. We have to adjust very quickly. We know COVID-19 disrupted pretty much every industry, but those disruptions aren't going to stop at a global pandemic, right? That's just one. Disruptions are coming from multiple areas. We mentioned earlier in financial services, you've got fintechs, you've got competition coming in from every arena. You have large corporations like Amazon or Apple getting into the financial industry, and they're offering attractive methods of engagement and benefits to their customers. So those disruptions are coming from competition, and how do you stay ahead of that? How do you stay ahead of those disruptions that are going to come? We need to better predict them and understand, right? So leveraging the data that we're collecting, being able to analyze that, and then also be able to shift those business models to get out ahead of it, right? How do we stay ahead of the competition? How do we stay ahead of that next, God forbid we don't have that, but that next global pandemic that might, occur? We need to leverage all of that data to kind of stay ahead of those disruptions. And we see it in every industry. It's not just, financial, services, but, any industry, is affected by, many types of disruptions. And I feel that that's really where having agile tools like no code is going to keep you, keep you ahead of it. Perfect. Excellent. So I know we have a second poll. So let's ask the audience, and this is all surrounding no-code tools. So the question is, have you ever tried or used no-code tools? So there's a series of answers there. It's yes or no, but also some opinions on that. So let's let the audience respond, and we'll share those results shortly. As we know that no code is going to help simplify many different workflows, processes, change management, all of the good things we've been discussing. We look at advising the audience on how to simplify. So I'd like to ask each of you, because you live in this world, you're working with customers. What are the tips that you can provide the audience on how to strike a balance between simplicity and functionality when it comes to CRM?
Yeah. So I would start by starting by defining and socializing the objectives that you have upfront an implementation, and what do you want to get out from a CRM or from whatever tool you're aiming to use. Focus on the happy paths at the very beginning. Don't try to make your processes or the implementation or whatever design to meet every single need of the process, right? Start with the happy path, and make sure that those happy paths or that initial design meets or is prioritizing the objective that you have agreed or defined beforehand. And then establish waves of improvement. The first wave shouldn't tackle all of the needs of an implementation. There are waves, and there's going to be plenty of time for you to improve based on what you've previously implemented or designed.
Yeah, that's a great point, and I hope every salesperson out there is listening to that, Gabriela, because that's how we have to approach our customers as well. Gjergji, I see you.
I think that my first point is very similar to what Gabriela said. So you need to have clarity on kind of the problem you are going to solve with the CRM and try to have a kind of a team agreement across all the stakeholders. I'm talking about the enterprise scale of implementation. What's going to be the output for all and the results from the CRM project? So that's without having clarity and structure of this design, it's going to be difficult down the line. I fully agree with the key points mentioned before. Just to add two more, I think sometimes it's also useful to be aware of the limitations of the time, skills, and capabilities of the sales team or the end users that will be using the tool and the IT. So a kind of awareness, okay, where does the organization stand at the moment and how much investment, especially in time, can be given to the project. And also, it's good to have the clarity on kind of non-technical related changes that will go hand to hand with the technology implementation, meaning organization changes, structure changes within the sales teams, process changes, because they will have an impact. So, I mean, you are going to use the software, the tool, it's low code, you can play with it around, but it will create an impact on the people. So you need to be aware as well how this is going to.
Yeah, I think if you want to find a balance, it's to find like what's too complex for
to have something simpler or structured.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, that's okay. I think there was just a little lag.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah,
that's okay.
That's okay. Go on.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, sometimes it's difficult to balance, because what can a citizen developer really do Well, I think often the least amount of work that anybody could do super easily and which gives him a lot of strength and benefits, is to at least create dashboards and his own segments with the dynamic folders. I think any Creatio user could do that, and that's super strong. And he can always customize his own lists and on all that. Show the citizen developer what he can do to get more out of the product. And once the citizen, the user or / citizen developer, in some cases, they really feel at home after a while, and they get super efficient as well. And another thing that it could be used to minimize the investment and invested time and to get you going faster is to use a lot of marketplace applications and use the work that has been put in there and just install it with one click. You can get a lot of use out of them. In many cases, that's what we try to do. Often at ChessIT, we put out some nice connectors and whatnot on the marketplace, and the customers are really interested in using them. Especially, we're using a lot of account and contact enrichment connectors. That's big here up in Sweden.
So your first point, Julius, was let the users fall in love with the tool first, and that will really make it easy afterwards.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Yep.
Yeah, I totally agree too. I think for me, like my top 3 tips would be simplify your processes, your sales or marketing process, and start on, let's say, the first core, which corresponds to the happy path in some way. And then they go into the tool, and then at some point they realize what they can actually do with the tool. Because sometimes they see the tool, they're like, oh yeah, it looks nice. Oh wow, it's beautiful. You can move things around. And then you see them going in the tool, they're like, oh, wow, I can do all of these things. And then they want more and more and more. And so you kind of see where they focus on first. And then little by little, you go in waves and you add the improvements, but not too much at one go, so that you make sure that they are actual improvements. Because sometimes we want to add a lot of functionalities and then realize that they don't use a couple of functionalities, and then we overcrowd the whole system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that leads right into the topic here, right? Simplifying CRM, and I think that you each touched on some great points. I mean, one, if you have an end goal in mind, right, an overarching business goal, and we tie everything back to that, that's really where we're going to start to see the balance, right? Because then that way, if we have that goal in mind, we can gear everything within the CRM to that particular goal, and it makes a clear path, right? It's really where I find when I talk to customers, there's that disconnect, right? There's that disconnect between that overarching business goal and the features and functionalities of a CRM, right? Well, functions and features are great. There's a plethora of them in any CRM that you want to engage, but it's how do we leverage those to meet that overarching business goals. So I think once you have that aligned, things start to fall into place. And also, I love the fact that we heard about leveraging like marketplace applications and templates, because that takes a lot of the development work and things out of, you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time you want to launch a new process or a new application. We can leverage what's already there. So let's take advantage of that while it's either in the marketplace or within the tool, and be able to modify it to meet your specific business needs is actually going to help simplify that process as well. Because so many times we get engaged in projects and you get that scope creep, right? Like where it's just you're going to get more and more usage as you come in and you start to uncover what additional things you can do with it. But we can take some of that out of the way with pre-built templates and connectors that are available. So I love that suggestion. I love that topic, because I find that just helps you recognize a quicker time, to value with the tool. So all great suggestions. So we do have our second poll results. So let me just pull this up, and let me just remind everybody, the question was, have you ever tried or used no-code tools? So this is encouraging to see, guys, right? We see that over 43% said yes, we are using no-code tools to customize our system, right? We also see followed close behind that no, but I would really love to. So we see that it's being embraced, and if you haven't used it, then they want to get involved. Well, you have a whole panel of people here you can reach out to, folks. So
yeah, if you haven't tried no code, you gotta talk to us. We'll
That's
show
right.
you
Exactly.
show you the light.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I'm getting the sign for wrap up here, guys. Are there any final thoughts from the panel on again, how do we simplify CRM for for our clients? I'll open it up for any final words or thoughts that we have.
It's easy. We can do anything with Creatio. Connectors, templates, dashboards. It's all like drag and drop, really. Super easy.
Yeah, thanks, Julius.
Yeah, and I think this is just the door for other types of technology. We have chatbots, codebots, workflow tools, intelligent automation, voice and conversational technology. So this is just the door that opens other types of technology for your company. So don't be afraid of it.
That's a good suggestion, Gabriella. Thanks.
Let's say start easy, start simple, and as you add on whatever you add on, functionalities, other tools that connect with it, take the time every year maybe to do review. What do we really use? What do we need to change, and what do we need to remove?
Perfect. Thanks, Damien.
Yes, it's about organization change at the end, giving more power to your citizen developers to be in control and give shape to the organization transformation and being more agile to the market conditions. That's what I feel like. So find these, I would say, talented or committed citizen developers, give them the tool, let them build a story of success and leverage of it on it organization-wise.
Wonderful. Thanks, Gjergji. That's amazing, guys. Thank you very much. Again, I love these. This is a great way to wrap up our sessions, right? Is to have these discussions. They're never long enough. We could talk about this for hours, I feel. But Damien, Gjergji, Julius, Gabriella, thank you very much for joining us today. I'm sure the audience, really appreciated your insights. I know that the chat has been on fire here with some comments. So thank you very much, guys, and enjoy the rest of your days. And we hope to see you again at another session.
Thank you.